Mm. All right. We are almost live. Nope, we're live now. All right, everybody, welcome to the RJ Squared podcast. So this is Jamal, and we are here live with Renell and Jermaine as always. And we have a special guest. His name is Alejandro. He is representing Gen Alpha, and we have some questions for him today. Is that right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's dive right in. What's up, Alec? How you doing, man?
Good man, how you guys doing?
All
No
right. Can you
problem.
hear us okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Right into it.
All right. Hey, we're off the cuff, so I don't have a script. Anyone want to jump in? Let's go.
I'm in. I'm in. I'm up the bat, baby. Put me in, coach. You know what coach used to say? If the field green, play ball. We knocking them all down. My dog Alejandro. Alejandro, tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, your age, things you like to do, hobbies, things of that nature. Feel free, brother.
Well, my name is Alejandro Victoria. I'm 17 years old. I was born in LA, Lendo, Orange County. Um, I like to play. I like to hoop. That's like my main thing right now, playing basketball. And then just vibing with my friends at the park or wherever it is that the plan goes. I don't really do too much.
Okay. You know, so you're 17, so you're in high school.
Yeah, I'm in high school. I'm a junior.
You're a junior in high school. Now, to my understanding, you're from Florida. Don't tell us exactly where. You never know. You might have some girls try to push up on you from this. Try to keep them away, baby. You got things going on for yourself. You're trying to get to a better place. So when I was in high school, it was from 90 to 94. We're speaking of a what, 20-year difference? So what's high school like with the technology that's provided to you as far as smartphones? Um, well, we had internet, but did we have internet?
Towards
Yeah,
the
we had
end.
internet, but it's not like it was now, bro.
No.
Like,
Mhm.
so what's life like being a 17-year-old junior in high school with technology at the forefront of life in general?
Obviously, there's pros and cons to it. Like, you can search up, basically, like voice, hey, what's two plus two, and it gives you the answer in point 0.5 seconds. But I think it's taken away from like the intelligence of kids nowadays. Like, I'm a victim to it. I use Chat GPT for a lot of things, and I feel like it's kind of taken away from using my brain. And obviously, in the future, it's going to get more and more advanced. So, I mean, it's helpful, but it's not helping us, develop.
Okay, so if I could take what you said, it's helpful in the moment to get the answers to what you want to do to pass the test, things that are required of you. But for the longevity of the information and knowledge retention and retaining the information, it doesn't really help you at all because it's just
There's some apps that like let's say you have like a 20 question test. You can take a picture of it and it gives you the answers to all of the 20 questions. Like I'm talking about, like it's crazy. Like there's some apps like out there where they say you have like a back and front page. You take two pictures and it gives you the answer to the whole test in
wow.
10 seconds. Yeah.
Is there any blowback from the teachers or the higher ups about using this type of information, or is
Oh,
it pretty much done on a down low?
no, 100%. Like teachers aren't on board with it, but it's to the point where there's so much technology and there's so much like there's ways to get around it. Like there's a anti plagiarism like app that you can use to like go against the one that teachers use. Like it's insane. Like there's everything's like out there.
Mm. How, how are phones in the classroom? Because you guys can have your phones in the classroom, obviously, if you're using Chat GBT.
Honestly, it just depends on the teacher. Like, there's some I have some teachers that like, oh, put your phones up in the pouch. And like no one does it. But
What's a
like I feel like
pouch? What's that?
it's like something you put on the wall, and it's like to put the phones in. Like it's
Like
basically
a cubby.
like a cubby, yeah, like a
Yeah.
cubby for phones. But like they're more strict about it at the beginning of the year. Now we have like 3 weeks left. They don't care. Like we have finals and stuff. We're not really learning anything, so it's not important as like in the beginning of the year. They enforce it a lot more than they do now. Like now they don't really care.
Alejandro,
Oh,
you're a junior or senior?
I'm a junior.
Junior? Okay.
Yeah.
So you graduate next year. And tell us, Jermaine, can I go ahead and jump in for a
Go
second?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you what are your next steps? What are you thinking post graduation for yourself?
I mean, my first option is obviously, well, enlisting in the military. That's something that I found very interesting.
Hmm.
A plan B would probably be going to paramedic school or something
Okay.
in that field, EMT, and maybe I'm doing a EMT program. So maybe just kind of in that, like, the medical field.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are like the two things I have right now. Maybe in the future, something changes. My first option is the military.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So we're going to go back and forth and through different topics and just kind of go down rabbit holes as they come up. But one thing I'd like to touch on, and I understand you have a Colombian background, right? Your
Yeah,
mother's of
yeah,
Colombian descent.
yeah.
One
Tú hablas
of
español.
sí,
Claro,
Lala.
claro que sí.
Yeah.
Nada. Nada. Nothing.
Hablo bastante, sí, señor.
Yep. Even threw in a little sir there. So, so what I wanted to talk about is about your Colombian culture, right? And how that has played a factor in you growing up, how you have kind of intertwined that with the American culture that you grew up in, and the pros and cons to that. What you find, I think you've gone to Colombia before, right?
Yeah. I've gone a couple times. Yeah.
What you find beautiful about Colombia, and the things
The
that you
hoes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that you don't find beautiful.
I mean, my mom, you guys know my mom. She is like the most Colombian woman out there. She is all about the heritage, all about it. So ever since I was like very little, like I've always been exposed to the Colombian culture. I've gone to Colombia since I was in arms, like a little baby, and I feel like obviously over the years, especially now with the president they have, like it's not as safe, and there's a lot of I wouldn't say controversy, but like a lot of things that are happening in the country that's unsafe. But in terms of like the landscapes, the people, the food, like everyone over there is beautiful. It's like I've always been very loving of my Colombian background.
Sweet. Do you dance?
Blood, bro.
I didn't hear you. What was that?
Yeah, of course, it's in the blood. Yeah.
Wait,
Good.
wait. Do you dance Americanized dancing or salsa?
I
And
dance salsa, bro. Like for real, for real.
so I
Nice.
can see you at 9 years old and your mom in the kitchen dancing while she's cooking. I can see that shit.
There's like 20,000 videos. I'm not gonna lie. If you go on her Facebook, you're gonna see all of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice.
that's good. Go ahead, Jay.
Um. Yeah, man. Look, because there's a big age discrepancy between us. I'm 49. You're 17. Um. That's almost well. What? That's a 32-year difference. So I would like to think, even though I'm 49, I'm still, I'm not going to say hip, but I'm still aware how younger people move. Because when I was younger, I would look at older people like they don't really know what today's day and age is about. And I realize now, me being this age, that they did know, they just didn't necessarily, they understood, but they didn't necessarily approve of everything. So it's like an older person saying, in my day, this is what we did. But the younger person looking at it like, well, this is my day and this is what we do. So I know we spoke to you the other day with a quick meet and greet, and you spoke about going out and you used the term. Um, I'm not going to use that term, but nowadays we would just call it, well, back then we would just call it a double date. But now there's a different term for it. And it's like you guys do the same thing we did, but now it's just more, I'm not going to say pronounced, it's just more in the ether because of technology and things of that nature. Like you guys can go on a date, live stream it. When I used to get home from school, I used to have to wait by a landline, not a cell phone, but a landline to see if she's going to call. So that I think that's a big difference between the two um age
to see if she's
discrepancies.
going to call.
I mean, nowadays with a cell phone, you still see if she's going to call or text. It's just now the cell phone can go with you. You can still do other things.
Yeah, you
Before,
can do that.
we would have to stay at home to make sure we were able to pick up that phone call. But what I do want to ask from a male perspective, in well, I want to make sure I'm trying to make sure I word this the correct because you're all 17. I'm trying to make sure I word this the right way. From an age perspective, what's the biggest thing you see with young ladies at your age in high school? Is it Instagram, TikTok, social media, OnlyFans, even though they're in high school? Like, what is it?
I mean, there's like a lot of that's a good question. I mean, I think that nowadays like it's become so like it's not even about love, it's more about lust. Like the like cheating, for example, has become so normalized. Like uh we talked about it the other day, like, relationships nowadays are so complicated because you never know what the other person is doing, especially because there's vanish mode on Instagram. Like there's so many ways to get around it. And I feel like TikTok and Instagram are the most, common used ones, but I know personally 17-year-old girls that are doing OnlyFans on an older account. I know like acquaintances that I know, like they're 17, they're managing these girls' accounts, and it's just like, and they're making bank. Like I'm talking about, like they're pulling in racks a week, and it's like, it's completely different than what I've heard it was back then. Like back then, I know there was respect. You have to go meet the father. You couldn't, be in the room alone. Like nowadays, it's like everyone. It's like, every man for himself. Like if you find a good girl in this, time, it's like a golden egg. Like it's very hard to find.
Wow. It's interesting you said that. So there's good girls out there. They're just hard to find. Do you think the young ladies your age are more interested in money, clout, status than having something that's actually real?
1,000%. Obviously, it just depends on the, the girl, because I know some girls that are also looking for it, but it's crazy because like a girl be like, oh, I want love, and then and the next day, like it's to the point where you can like someone like a girl can look you in the eyes and cry, and she'll still lie to you. Like it's like it's you can't even believe it nowadays.
Wow. Wow. Go ahead right now.
Yeah, buddy. So again, like I said, we're going to be jumping back and forth from questions, so some of them won't be particular to the preceding questions. So we kind of talked about briefly about uh, your hope to join or enlist in the military here after high school, potentially the paramedic school if as a contingency. But I'd like to kind of delve deeper into what your aspirations were as a young boy too, right? So I'll give you an example. When I was literally a kid, I was like 9 or 8 years old. Believe it or not, I wanted to be president of the United States. I used to tell my mom all the time. I said, "Mom, I want to be president of the United States." Right. Um, but then I kind of came to a sad realization at that point in time. Right. Well, not even a realization. I kind of felt that that wouldn't be possible because of where I came from and or where my family was from, etc. My background, right? But then all of a sudden, a man by the name of Barack Obama became president, and those doors were wide open, right? Again, of course, I was a lot older at the time, but back then, that was something that kind of kept me from really dreaming to dream and or allowing myself to dream and pursue that dream, right? What were so I kind of say all that to say to you or ask you what was your kind of dream as a kid? And I know now it's kind of like, hey, I want to, be an agent, potentially, definitely go to the military or something like that. But what was your dream as a kid? And is there anything in society today that has kind of held you back or changed your mind about what your dreams were?
I mean, there's always like, oh, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a firefighter. Like, when you're a kid, you want to be everything. But I think the main thing that really has always really caught my eye has been history. I wanted to be a historian for a good minute, kind of like in that side of the field. But then as I got older, 12, 13, I was kind of confused on what I wanted to do. But I feel like it's always been like a detective or like basically in like the whole like solving things or exploring more about it. I've always been very curious when it comes to like the Holocaust or like uh stuff like that happened like back then. I've always been very interested in that. So I would say yeah, like kind of like a historian or in that field. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I think oh, Jamal's with us now. Jamal, do you have anything that you want to ask or?
No, I had to step away to handle something, but and I apologize for that. But
No worries.
no, yeah, no, keep it rolling. No, we're good.
Okay.
You know what I find-
So go ahead.
No, you're good.
So another thing I want to ask you, and this is open ended because I want you to take it wherever you want to take it, Alejandro. Talk to me about to date. I know you've been on this planet for 17 years, but to date, what is the one thing or a few things that you're very proud of right now?
I think I've always been I would say that I'm a very generous person. I like to care about other people. I put other people's feelings first. I know that, I've made mistakes in the past, but I think that the one thing that I could say is that I care about people. I'm not selfish. Like I try to put other people's, problems in front of me and I think that obviously that has backstab, but I think that it's also helped me a lot. And yeah.
So that kind of brings up a point that Jermaine brought up the other day. We were kind of checking out Instagram and whatnot, and we saw a lot of pictures of you and your sister. And Jermaine pointed out that it's very obvious that you're an amazing older brother, and we just want to applaud you for that.
And I think Jamal pointed that out first. Just to
Was it
give
Jamal? Okay,
flowers to Jamal.
sorry, Jamal. I'm so sorry. Let me give him his flowers. I apologize. But Jamal pointed that out. And
Wait a minute. Do you guys even say flowers, Alejandro? Do you guys say flowers, or what do you say at this age?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it. I've heard that in 15 years, but yeah, I mean, yeah. You can
So what do you
say
guys say when you give someone else their credit or
props,
their due
props.
justice?
Props, give 'em
Props.
props.
oh, we
Okay.
we used to
Oh, we say that
Yeah,
in
we used to-
'94 though.
that never went away.
that's a
Well,
recycle.
some things are eternal. Like it's still you still say people look cool, right? You still say that?
Like cool in what sense? Like
Cool in the sense that you like that, or like you're saying, wow,
Outfit.
something.
That shit hot.
Yeah,
I'll be
like
like,
so.
like
When
like
you were
like
young,
they're chill, like they're cool. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah. I still say
A
that. Yeah.
pair of
you still
shoes.
say that?
Yo,
Okay,
those shoes fire.
no, that's what they say
Pushing
now.
it. That's pushing it. That's pushing it. That's pushing
That's
it.
pushing
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
No.
but see,
So what would you say if you saw a good pair of shoes and you wanted to bless up the
Oh,
person
listen.
with the shoes?
Instead of five, they're five. Five.
They're
Like
five.
there's
five.
five,
So
five, five.
F Y E. Like they're five.
But
They're
but
five.
Ebonics has gone to a different level.
so what about I've heard lit. Lit is a good it comes in is
I mean, people like I say that when like they're like a little bit like they have like a little bit of drink in the system. Oh, I'm lit.
yeah, we used to say that
Oh, I'm
too.
lit.
Okay.
Yeah, like but
Mhm.
like when like no, but oh, like this party's lit. Nah, it's like oh, like it's deep. Like we'll say it's deep. If it's like a lot of people like a function or something, oh, it's deep. It's like it's packed.
Okay.
You don't say off the chain anymore.
That's real
I
old school.
don't even know what that
You're
means.
like, I don't even know what that means. Yeah, off the chain meant like it was great. It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Everyone was there.
Nah,
It
now it's
off
just
the
like
chain.
deep. Yeah, deep is like the big thing.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You
So
know, I
just
know you're young, but I'm gonna ask this anyway, just because I'm November. Fuck it. I know you go to school where you go. We're not gonna bring up exactly where you are. Um, and this is more not a I want to say a serious topic, but this is just the feat to see how much more what's a good word for it? How much more options kids have nowadays. And I'm not speaking of a specific person, but when we're speaking of marijuana, drugs, weed, how prevalent is it in high school?
Yeah, I mean, I'm being honest. I had my little dab when it came to that. I had my little experience with that. Now I'm clean. I'm sober, but it took a toll. It took a toll on me. Obviously, a huge problem, especially like THC, like the carts, like the. It's not
The
actual bud.
cartridges,
Yeah, it's not actual bud, but it's insane, dude. Like every bathroom you walk in, you smell like straight weed.
and that's at the high school.
That's every high school, every party you go to. There's some Zaw everywhere. Every Getty everywhere. It's like got to the point where it's like not normal to not smoke. Like it's what I mean. And it's
Right.
not only that, like vapes and other stuff like that. Like it takes a toll, like a big toll on kids, especially my age, because it's addictive. So like you say, oh, I'm not addicted to it, and then it grows and it grows and it grows until you're in a hole where it's like, damn, I can't get out of this. And that's what happens to a lot of my friends. Like, I know a lot of my homeboys are having like lung problems and stuff because they've been smoking for 3 years. Like, and they're 17, so do the math. Like 14, they started smoking.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead. That just came to my head. I don't even know if that was a good question. I was just like,
No, no, you're good. So I wanted to piggyback off of the previous question, and this goes into something that's a little deeper, right? Like, you know, us growing up, we kind of had individuals or people that we kind of looked up to. Who I'm very curious to know who exactly do you look up to right now, and who has had the most impact in your life to date? I can't.
My mom.
Oh, your
100%
mother?
my mom. Yeah, 1,000% my mom. Yeah.
Awesome.
100%. Yeah, that's like my superhero.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. How about maybe a coach in school, a teacher, um, community leader, church, anyone else?
Really, I mean, because the thing about my like coaches, like I've kind of like hopped around a little bit when it came to coaches. Like I've never had like one coach where I stay with like for a long period of time. But I would say like without me making shit up, my mom has been the one person who has stuck by me no matter what. Like 17 years of my life, never been separated from her. That's like the one, like my inspiration, basically. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's beautiful. Love that.
I'm gonna say this, Alejandro. And so I make a lot of jokes, but I will say this: when you have a mom that steps up, how your mom did, cherish that because not every young man or every young woman has that. That's regardless if it's a mom, a father, a one parent household, a two-parent household. If you have one parent that steps up, they're still going to make faults. They're still going to make wrong decisions. But if their best interest is you to get you to a different stage in life, and usually a parent wants their child to be better than them. I think that's the key thing in starting something from a generational standpoint where you can build on to your name. Because when you have kids, so when you have kids, they're going to take your last name. Um, and when they take your last name, you're going to be at an age where you're looking at it like, I want you to conduct yourselves in a particular way that brings honor to our name. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Usually women don't think that way. But it seems your mom does, to where she raised you in a way and she conducted herself in a way that she instilled this on you to where she's your superhero. It's not a Superman. It's not a dude flying around saving damsels in distress. It's her. So I can give her what was the name for it for a 17-year-old? Her
Props.
props. And I can give you your props also for recognizing that not all heroes are men. Sometimes they're women also. Kudos to you.
I hear a little bit of your feminist coming out there. I like that.
With me, I'm not a feminist, bro. Kill all these hoes. No, no, but hey, I can recognize when
Yeah,
people do things right. And
absolutely. The
it's
way
not
he
about
carries
being a
himself.
feminist or
Yeah.
anti-feminist. If someone raises their kid right and their
Hmm.
kid looks at them and say, they're my hero, man or woman,
Yeah.
I look at it like they did something right. They might not have did everything right, but they did something right for the
Yeah.
kid to look at them in that manner.
100%. 17 years old, you're beyond the maturity level that I was at for sure.
Oh yeah,
Alejandro.
way more articulate than I was. Look, we're just throwing shit out. So I want to be honest here. Good point, Renell. We are throwing things at you in your ability to comprehend
And answer the questions is admirable.
answer the question, acknowledge it, and respond in a way that's articulate, concise, and straight to the point is probably in the top 5% of 17-year-olds. I'm going to be honest with you. You have a future. I think you're smart. I think you're bright. I think you have common sense. I think you know enough book smarts, enough street smarts, enough common sense to make it in life to where if you put your mind to it at 17, you can be retired by age 40 and be a multimillionaire with a family, taking care of them and traveling the world. I truly believe that.
High praise. And Jermaine is the old sage of the group, so I would take that. I would take that with a lot of truth to it. So, in the interest of time, I just want to leave Alejandro with one parting question, and that is well, not a question, but well, yeah, it is a question. So, what message would you give to adults of like of Gen X, those who have children who are in your age range? What bit of advice would you give them raising children in this day and age with technology, the internet? You spoke about vaping, all that. Like, what message or what advice would you give them?
To put themselves in our shoes. So imagine if you were our age and this time, how would you react to all these things? Because obviously you guys say, "Oh, we didn't have that in your time," and it's like, well, it's not our fault that it got invented when we were born. Like it's not our fault that technology is so advanced nowadays. Obviously, if you guys were exposed to it, it would be the same thing. Like if you guys had vapes in your time, it's like put yourself in our shoes and see how you would react when you were 17 years old, not as a 40, 50-year old person. When you were 17, you were messing up, you were doing stupid shit, you were, maybe it wasn't as advanced and as maybe more a little bit on the different side, but you guys were still going to parties, drinking. I'm guessing you guys obviously tried weed. Like you guys did all of it at our age, so it's like don't look at it from a damn like why is he doing that? Understand why we're doing it, and we're more exposed to it.
I like that. So basically, you just want empathy. You just want them to
Yeah. Like
empathize with where you're at.
obviously, like I'm getting. You guys also had arguments with your parents, and it's
Oh
like
yeah, still
exactly,
do.
exactly. So it's like like get like look at it from that perspective, and obviously, I mean, I'm saying that now because I'm 17. Maybe when I'm older, I'll do the same thing, but. I mean, I wouldn't want my kid to be like, damn, I can't tell my dad anything. I would want him to be like, hey, like, what's going on? Talk to me. Why are you doing it? And obviously, since I've experienced it, I can look at it from a different standpoint than just, oh, don't do that. Because then that would just be me being a hypocrite.
Right. Well, I think that's a wonderful answer and wise words. I think parents who watch this episode can learn a lot from what you just had to say.
Do you
So
have anything for us, Alejandro? Sorry, Jamal, but do you have anything for us, Alejandro?
Yeah, I had one particular question. Like, you guys said you guys grew up in high school, right? Like, you guys met each other in high school. What's like,
that's correct.
did you guys ever have like that one like moment where it's like, damn, like you guys look back at it now and like, oh, like we can't believe we did that. Like a party moment, or like you guys have something like that. Like that you guys
The
can all collectively remember like that one moment where it's like, damn, like it really united you guys.
I'll
So
let them go first.
So there is one moment that actually Jermaine tells the story better than any of us. So you kind of touched on, our flaws as young men, right? There's one in particular moment, and Jermaine and I were talking about it a few weeks ago. Matter of fact, Jermaine, I don't know if you want to tell them the story about across the street, Atlantic.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Jermaine's a great storyteller, so I'll let him
So
take the floor.
So I met Raynell originally playing football. I was in 10th grade. He was in ninth grade. I was on varsity. He was on JV, but I wasn't playing on varsity. So me and a guy named Mike Lawson asked to go down to JV after the third game of varsity to because we just wanted to play. We were young, and during that course of the year, one day Raynell came inside the locker room and he said, "Hey, I have a problem. I'm young." He didn't say I'm young. He just said, "There's people across the street. I'm trying not to associate with them, but it's quote unquote a gang. And the only way I can get out is I got to fight all 25 of them back to back." And and when he said that, I literally stood up and said, "Well, let's go solve it." And we walked out to a guy named Darren Cleveland. It was my other homeboy, Boomer. It was my other homeboy, Mad Dog Lawson. It was my cousin, Brian Steiger. We all jumped into like a 1989 Bronco, went across the street. When we got across the street, no lie, there was like 25 of them. And I was like, yeah, I can see why he ain't want to fight all these motherfuckers. You were going to get your ass. Like, like, let's be for real. So when I walked up, there was quote unquote the two leaders of the pack. One was and remember, I was only in 10th grade. One was a 19-year-old, and he wasn't even in school. And the other was a guy who went to our school. And I knew both of them. And I said, "Hey, Raynell just want to be a regular kid, bro. He's just trying to play football. He wants to get out. Pick who you want for him to go against. We can do that, but he's not finna fight all 25 of you, bro. Like, that's not gonna go down." And they picked somebody, and when they picked that person, it sparked off like that. It's like it's like when they said the name, him and Raynell were like this. Name, they were going at it. And no lie, they probably went 10 seconds in, and I looked at the other dude. He looked at me, and we just started going. And then everybody started going. And then the seniors from the football team that was graduating, buses pulled over on Seacrest Avenue, and people were getting out of the bus, meaning other football players, to actually come enter. I'm gonna tell you this: it was five of us, five or six. We would have lost, but the other football players that the bus drivers actually stopped. That's the only reason we won this, and it probably was at least a 40. I'm gonna say 30 to 40 kids fighting at once. When I say we were getting it, we were getting it. But see, we used to handle our shit with fists. There were no guns. You want to square out 1-on-1? Let's do this. After we done, I'm gonna lift you up. I'm gonna shake your hand because guess what? I know I went into it knowing I'm gonna win, and that's how it was. And it was over after that. There was no retaliation. There was no "I'm gonna kill your family. I'm gonna kill your sister." There was no "next time I see you, it's on site." It wasn't that situation. Raynell brought approached the situation. This is what we can do to get out of it. Raynell handled his business. I just did what I usually do, and we were done. And it was over.
So
Coaches brought up, matter of fact, on the way back, we got stopped by the police. The coaches brought it up the next day. He literally said, "What were you doing?" I said, "Raynell was in a little gang. They didn't want to let him out. He had to fight 20 people. I wasn't going to let that happen." Coach looked at me and said, "Okay, go home." Wasn't
yeah.
no problem. No beef. I
So
appreciate you sticking up for your teammate, but go ahead, Raynell.
yeah. So Jermaine, like I said, he's a great storyteller, and I have to say, Alejandro, you kind of asked us, or you were talking or alluding to the fact there's a lot of fights in your school and stuff like that. You see it all the time. Well, there were fights back then too, right? But this was one in particular where that really brought it. I'm not proud of it. I'm sure Jermaine's not either. We got suspended from school because of it, so it wasn't a good thing. But it happened, right? And it was a life lesson, and it is also something that kind of bonded Jermaine and I. And to this day, I'm always grateful to Jermaine because he did kind of, take care of me like a little brother, right? And I have nothing but love for Jermaine since then. And, that's probably why we're still here today, is because we have that bond, not just that moment. It's also the brotherhood and the superior core that we had, right? As a football team, right? We went through some shitty moments going through. I don't know if you know what 2-a-days are. 2 days in football, it's like 2 practices a day.
Oh
Usually it
yeah,
happens right
yeah.
before the season starts. It's like 2 to 3 weeks long. Hell, right? And so those are the things that will bond you with other men and teammates as you continue on your endeavors and journeys. So those are the things that I kind of recommend or suggest to you, is to always be in those moments and cherish those bonds, because you never know. You might meet your Jermaine Jackson, that guy that you always bond with and you have that love for, right? And you might end up having your podcast 20, 30 years from now. All right. Jambone.
Jambo had to go, but yeah,
Okay.
man, that's look. I mean, I went. It's a lot of different things I could say, bro. I was young, I was dumb, bro. I was dumb all the way up until like I was almost 30. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think the basis of this podcast is to steer young men on a path where instead of waiting until that 27, 25 years of age, they can already be set in their path early on and be in and out. Would you rather be it's like asking a question, would you rather have $100 million at 60 or at 30 when you're still in the best shape of your life? I would say at 30, especially if you have the same knowledge that you would have at 60. You know investments, you know ROIs, return on investments, you know what to invest in, you know how to actually spend your money, you know how to budget yourself. Like, it's just a lot of things that I think young people should know. Financial literacy is one of them. You know what I'm saying? If you take 5% of whatever you make, even if you're not working, even if you get an allowance, you take 5% of whatever you make right now and you invest it for the next 20 years, more than likely you'll be able to retire before 40. That's even if you invest like $100 a month every month for the next 20 years. There's certain financial things that you can do, like they have like a 60-20, well, 60-30-10 rule. Like, you know, you pay your bills and then 60% goes to your bills, 30% you put away, 10% you invest. There's certain steps you can take to manage your life to make sure that you and your family in the future has a decent life and you're able to live well. And your kids can benefit from the decisions that you made now later on. So there's something called generational wealth. And I think that's huge in certain communities, but it's not stressed enough in other communities, such as the darker skin or Latin persuasion or things of that nature. I think your mom is actually doing that, which I praise her for, in her community, like financial freedom and financial literacy, investments and things of that nature, to make sure your kids, which would be her grandkids, can go to any private school they want, can go to Yale, can pay, you can pay for it, no problems if they don't get a scholarship. So, but go ahead, Renee. But I appreciate your time. I know Jamal had to leave. Alejandro, I'll say this, and I'm gonna say it again. I think you're a sharp young man. Um, think of a A, B, C plan. If your A is the military, cool. If your MT is B, cool. If school is the C, cool. But you need to have a goal and plan for each particular A, B, C plan. And you go with the one that you think will make you most happy. Because remember, life is life. In 7 years, you may say, I want to be a guitarist. I don't fucking know. But and you want to go over there. But choose the right path. Try to stay on the right path as much as possible. Are you going to make mistakes? Yeah. Are you going to smoke? Are you going to drink? Yeah. Are you going to sleep with chicks that you probably shouldn't sleep with? Yeah. But try to stay as close to the right path as possible. And I think that'll do you the best justice as possible. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, so I just want to piggyback off of that, and I want to challenge you, Alejandro. I want to ask to see, with your permission, we'd like to follow up with you, if that's okay. We want to be, if it's okay with you, we want to be a part of your life, and we want to check in with you and see how things are going. Maybe we'll do it in 6-month intervals, or whenever you, hey man, I want to talk. I want to talk about, like Jermaine just alluded to. plan A, plan Bravo, and plan Charlie. And maybe we can, talk that through a little bit with you and give you some insight. So online, offline, doesn't matter. You got my number. I'm sure, Mr. TBI here wouldn't mind giving you his number offline. So we're always here if you need anything ever. Okay.
Anything else for us, brother?
That's it. Pretty good talk. I had a good time.
All right.
All right, hey man, we appreciate you showing up today. I know you got to get back to the Sunday day off. Do you want to give people your socials or anything, Alejandro, or any last parting words?
Having me. Yeah, it was a good time. I mean, socials, like I said, I don't really use Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. Like that's just for like, you feel me? That's kind of
Okay,
like,
no worries. Right now, you want to provide your socials?
Yep. So I can be reached at Raynell_JR at Instagram.
All right. And my socials, November Montgomery on all platforms. This is RJ Square Podcast. We had the young man, 17-year-old high school student, Alejandro, smart, articulate, on his way to greatness. We appreciate your time today. Like, comment, share, subscribe. The new times are Sundays at what time right now?
8, 7, TBD.
TBD, to be
Sundays,
determined,
TBD.
but more than likely Sundays, either 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken, and every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We appreciate your time, Alejandro. Hats off to you, young man.
Salud, que viva Colombia.
Appreciate you.
bye-bye.